Hi teacher friends. Let's talk today about graphic organizers. What is a graphic organizer? A graphic organizer is a way to organize your thoughts. It's a visual representation of what you're thinking, right? I do it all the time when I'm planning. I kind of map it out on a bubble map before I plan it or while I'm planning it, so I can kind of get my thoughts of where I need to be to make sure I have everything that I need in my plan. However, as an adult I use it, and I write. Sometimes I draw pictures, but mostly I write. I use words. In pre-K for children, it's a teacher's job to model this graphic organizer. Is it useful for children? Absolutely, because it is still a visual representation of what you're thinking and what you're talking about. So it will help them in later in years, and they can write their own when they're up higher in the grades. But for now, for pre-K, it's a great way to represent what we're thinking. So previously I had made a bubble map of differentiation, and you can go watch that video. But this is a bubble map. This is a typical bubble map of kind of thoughts and organizing my thoughts. While I did it, I made pictures. Pictures for children are a must. They can't read it otherwise, right? So every time you write something, represent it in a picture so the children can go back and look and remember what you talked about. Okay? So, a popular graphic organizer in pre-K, in a pre-K world, in the pre-K setting, is a KWL chart. The great thing about a KWL chart is that it provides a lot of information to you, to the children. So it's really kind of a catch-all graphic organizer for children. You can use a bubble map, you can use a circle map, you can use whatever graphic organizer, but this kind of helps a beginning, middle, and an end to a theme. Okay? So here's an example of how I would use a KWL chart in a classroom. Here's my topic. We took a vote and we decided we wanted to learn about zoo animals. So I say, okay, well, tell me what you know about zoo animals. I need to know, what do you know about zoo animals? This kind of activates their prior knowledge. It tells me, gives me assessment data. What do my children know? How do they know it? And then I can expand from there. So the children list all the animals, if they've been to a zoo, all the animals they've seen, or maybe they've seen on TV, or anything that they know about, that's the K, that what they know about a zoo. We know there's elephants, there's giraffes, there's snakes. Notice my pictures. Just draw little stick figure pictures. It does not matter to the children. Misspellings doesn't matter to the children. You can fix it later when you go back and you realize, you look across the room and you realize you totally misspelled giraffe. It's okay. You're writing quickly, short, sweet. You're not writing word for word. This is not an anecdotal note time. This is just to organize our thoughts and what we know. Elephants, giraffes, snakes, and you go on. And maybe they know that they sell popcorn at the zoo. So you do popcorn, right? Whatever the children say that they know happens at the zoo. Okay, so you know all this stuff about the zoo. What do you want to know about a zoo? What do you wonder about a zoo? That goes into W. What do you want to know, or what do you wonder? And I draw a smiley face here with a question mark and a thinking bubble. What do you wonder about? So then you kind of take their questions, and children at this age don't have quite the concept of how to ask a question. So you can kind of guide them a little bit, but maybe they want to know what they eat. What do the animals eat when they're at the zoo? What does their house look like? Do they live in a house? It's a great question. We'll find that out. So you write down all their questions, what they might have. Where do the snakes live? You know, and I drew a little map. Map is a great way to introduce math skills during a zoo. I love it. Maps. That's a fun learning activity there. So now you have information that you can start with, and you can say, okay, I'm going to do some research and we're going to get our plans together, and then we'll learn about the zoo. This is assessment data right here. This tells you what the children know, and not all of them are going to know everything about elephants. Somebody knew something about an elephant, so at least, you know, somebody knows something, right? So you can still talk about elephants, you can still learn about it, but this gives you an idea of where to start. This is what the children want to know. This is going to lead your planning, right? This is your assessment to say, okay, this is what they want to know. So let's find some activities. Let's find some videos. Let's go on a field trip to the zoo, whatever. And that leads my planning. While you're learning, like this is every day, you come back to this and you say, okay, you activate prior knowledge. What have we been learning about? And for a little bit, you say, yes, this is what you already know about a zoo. And you review here, right? And then you say, you wondered about these things and you talk about these things. What did we learn today? And maybe you read a book or watched a video or had a guest speaker in. And so as you learn about this topic, you can add what you've learned about as you go. This is an assessment piece to say, okay, this is what we learned. I think we learned great. Does this mean you have to write every little piece of data that you learned? No, but you can, okay? Keep it short, keep it with pictures. It's not an anecdotal note, remember. You can have your teacher assistant in the back writing the actual anecdotal notes of what the children say. You can video record, you can audio record these lessons, and then take that data for anecdotal notes. But for the sake of the children, you're just writing 1-2 words and then a picture, okay? Let me think of what else I was going to say here. I think that was it for now. I'll do another video if I think of it. All right, if you have any questions, please let us know. Thanks.